The stars above the twin moons of Zarel burned soft and silver, casting pale light upon the gleaming white spires of the Temple of Luma. It was a sacred place, older than most civilizations, built on a floating shard of crystal that hovered eternally over the planet's surface. It was here that the priestesses of Zarel had guarded their sacred vows for over a millennium. They were eternal virgins, bound by oath and sacred duty to the goddess Luma. To break their celibacy was to break the divine harmony that kept their world intact. Priestess Vaelara stood alone in the moon chamber, bathed in the milky glow of starlight filtering through the temple's translucent dome. She was beautiful in a way that transcended humanoid understanding. Tall, otherworldly, with opalescent skin that shimmered like pearl and hair that moved like flowing light. Her lavender eyes, flecked with constellations, stared into the infinite sky. Despite the divine peace around her, turmoil brewed in her heart. She had begun to dream, strange, unsettling dreams. And in all of them, a human man's hand reached out to touch hers. It was impossible. No human had ever set foot inside the Temple of Luma. They weren't permitted to travel this far into the celestial territories. And yet, the dreams persisted, each one clearer than the last. Each time the hand touched her, warmth bloomed in her chest. A name echoed in the void, Kael. She had meditated for days, spoken to the high oracle, and burned sacred incense to banish the visions. Nothing worked. Her body had begun to ache in places she never acknowledged. Her breath caught when her fingers brushed her own skin. Her soul stirred with long-forbidden curiosity. And tonight, the dream was no dream at all. There was a sound, an unfamiliar hum that reverberated through the temple's crystalline walls. Vaelara turned, robes flowing, eyes wide. The portal chamber had activated. That was impossible. Only temple initiates could summon the star bridge, and none had left the temple in over 3 centuries. She moved swiftly down the radiant corridors, every step echoing like whispers against the marble floor. The portal pulsed with energy, rippling with violet light. And then, he stepped through. A human. Tall, armored in sleek black explorer gear. Unshaven. Scarred jaw. Eyes a stormy grey that seemed to take in everything. He staggered slightly, blinking at the harsh light. Their eyes locked. He froze. She did too. Time collapsed. You. Vaelara whispered, stepping back involuntarily. You're not supposed to be here. I didn't mean to intrude, he said, his voice gravelly, unsure. My ship was hit. Something malfunctioned. The beacon pulled me through. A human can't open the star bridge. Guess I'm not just any human, he said, his mouth twitching at the corners. Name's Kael. The word hit her like a thunderbolt. Her knees weakened. The name from her dreams. The touch. The eyes. You must leave at once, she said, voice trembling with barely concealed panic. You being here, it disrupts the sanctity of this place. I'd leave if I could, he said, gesturing helplessly. But the portal's dead. Whatever pulled me here fried my suit systems. I'm stuck until it recharges. She felt her pulse race. You should banish him, her mind whispered. You should call the guards. But her body didn't move. Not away. Instead, she stepped closer. I'll show you to the guest sanctum. You are not to touch anything, or anyone. He followed her through the corridor, watching the strange beauty of the temple with quiet reverence. This place, it's like walking through a dream. It's not a dream, she said quickly. It's sacred. A place of discipline, sacrifice, and silence. Kael smirked. You don't seem silent. She shot him a withering glance. Be grateful we have not turned you to dust. I am. Really. He paused. But you don't seem like you want to turn me to dust. She didn't respond. Days passed. The star bridge remained inactive. The high priestesses debated casting Kael into the void, but Vaelara pleaded mercy. He was a trespasser, yes, but he meant no harm. She offered to observe him, contain him, learn what she could about the malfunction that brought him. They allowed it. Hesitantly. Alone, they walked the gardens, the crystal halls, the moonlit sanctums. I've never met anyone like you, Kael said one night as they stood beneath the skyroot tree. You look at the stars like they're old friends. They are, she said softly. We sing to them. And what do they sing back? She turned to face him. That love is forbidden. Desire is a weakness. To feel deeply is to fall from grace. Kael stepped closer, voice low. Do you believe that? Her breath hitched. I did. Until I met you. He raised a hand. She flinched, but didn't pull away. He cupped her cheek, warm palm on her impossibly soft skin. Your dreams, he said, sensing her shiver. Were they about me? Yes, she whispered. I saw your hand. I felt something. Do you feel it now? She looked up at him, pupils wide, luminous. Yes. Then she did something no priestess had done in 1,000 years. She kissed him. It was soft at first, uncertain, like a prayer whispered into darkness. But as his arms wrapped around her and her hands tangled in his hair, it deepened, ignited, devoured centuries of suppression in one firestorm of feeling. They broke apart, gasping. I shouldn't have, she said, trembling. I've violated everything. You followed your heart, Kael said gently. That's not violation. That's truth. She turned from him, tears forming. The vow, it was not just a promise. It's woven into the temple. Into me. Breaking it could unravel everything. What happens now? He asked, stepping toward her again. She shook her head. I don't know. That night, the temple pulsed with energy, unstable, chaotic. The High Oracle summoned her. You have broken the vow, the Oracle hissed, ancient eyes glowing white. The stars cry out. The harmony is fractured. I could not stop myself, Vaelara confessed. It was fate. Destiny. There is no destiny but duty. Vaelara stood tall. Then I choose to write my own. The Oracle raised her hand. Then you are no longer one of us. A beam of light struck Vaelara's chest. She screamed as her celestial bond snapped, her divine powers stripped away. Her skin dulled. Her voice lost its ethereal echo. Her bond with the goddess was severed. Kael ran to her as she collapsed, catching her in his arms. I'm here, he said, holding her. I'm not letting you go. I'm not what I was, she gasped. I'm mortal now. He cupped her face. Then we'll live like mortals. Together. But the temple shook again, this time more violently. The skies outside rippled. The planet moaned like a wounded beast. You breaking the vow, Kael said, realization dawning. It's destabilized something. Like a system collapse. The temple's power was fueled by our celibacy, Vaelara said weakly. It kept the balance. With it broken. It's falling apart. The oracle's voice boomed across the temple. You have doomed us. No, Kael said, lifting Vaelara to her feet. There has to be another way. In the final chamber, where the heart crystal glowed, they stood side by side. The crystal pulsed, dim, dying. It needs a new source, Vaelara said, eyes wide. Not sacrifice, but love. What? It was never supposed to be a prison. The old ways were corrupted. The true power of Luma, it was connection. Harmony through unity, not denial. Kael took her hand. Then give it that.